Ocean's 11 is a 1960 heist film directed by Lewis Milestone starring the Rat Pack, Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin. And it's also a 2001 remake from Steven Soderbergh starring George Clooney, Matt Damon and Brad Pitt. And this week we're going to answer the all-important question on this very, very special short episode: who did it better? Which of these entries is better? So firstly, let's get into the similarities that each entry has. So essentially, they obviously have 11 members on each team, led by a guy called Danny Ocean. The main difference, however, being that Danny Ocean and his friends served together in World War II, and now they're looking to kind of rob these 5 casinos all on New Year's Eve on this one night. And having essentially, it's not really alluded to that they've ever actually pulled off anything like this before. Whereas the 2001 version, starring George Clooney and directed by Soderbergh, Danny Ocean is a career thief. This is his job. This is his calling almost. And he certainly knows Brad Pitt's character, and he knows a few of the other guys, but he's essentially building a super team from scratch. He's pinpointing each individual key person because of their skills that they have. It could be a safecracker, it could be a master planner, it could be a master strategist. He's picking all of these people specifically because of what their skill set actually is. Another difference would be that the 1960 version is more of a hangout movie, really. So obviously these guys are friends. It's essentially just an excuse for Frank Sinatra and the rest of the Rat Pack to hang out in Las Vegas together. In fact, the director Lewis Milestone said that they would essentially hang out and basically come to set whenever they want to. Whereas, like I said, the 2001 version, it's a highly specialised crew, a highly specialised reason. And speaking of another difference, in the 1960 version, Danny's ex-wife Tess is played by Angie Dickinson, but she doesn't really have much narrative function, really. She's essentially there so that we can have a glimpse into Danny's past. Whereas in the 2001 version starring Clooney, Julia Roberts' Tess, she is also his ex-wife, but she's now in a relationship with Terry Benedict, played by Andy Garcia. And it's a really great piece of screenwriting, actually, because it gives this particular version of the story new dramatic stakes. So Danny Ocean, played by George Clooney, doesn't tell anyone that he actually knows that Tess is both working with and in a relationship with this Terry Benedict guy. And it's quite a big reason as to why he actually wants to pull off this heist. In this version, 3 casinos rather than 5 from the original. Another difference is the pacing. So obviously, like I said, the 1960 version is more of a hangout movie, which means that the pacing can be quite slack and quite easy going. In fact, there's multiple scenes of Dean Martin singing full songs in a casino where the pace just slows right down, and it wasn't really exactly fast paced to begin with. Whereas the Soderbergh version is much more fast paced, much more kinetic editing style and visual style. There's a lot more going on. It's very, very like I said, fast paced. It's very, very it really has a lot going on at any one moment. And one of the biggest differences is the fact that in the original there's not too many spanners in the works. There is towards the end, but in terms of actually pulling off the heist, it goes more or less without a hitch. Whereas in the remake, Soderbergh is constantly throwing things in the guy's way, whether it be, like I said, the gang finding out that Tess is working for Terry Benedict and rumbling Danny's secret reason to even do this heist, whether it be Danny being blacklisted or redlisted, as it were, from the casino because he has a suspicion, Terry Benedict, that he's actually up to something, Danny. Or whether it be the laser scene, the famous laser scene where Matt Damon and George Clooney are hanging from a harness as they try to avoid these lasers before the lights and the power are shut off. Just constantly, like I said, Soderbergh putting little obstacles in the way, or big obstacles in the way of the crew, in order it's even more impressive when they actually overcome these obstacles. So finally we come to the all-important question: who did it better? And yeah, I'm not even going to lie, I'm not even going to drag this out, and I don't think it's a particularly controversial opinion here either. The Steven Soderbergh version absolutely kicks the 1960 version's ass. It's just so much more enjoyable, it's so much more fun and fast paced. The characters are actually characters you actually want to hang out with, as opposed to the 1960 version, the Rat Pack version, where it's, let's be honest, it's quite self-indulging. It really is, like I said, just a reason for the the Rat Pack to actually hang out on set, and they didn't really seem to even bother coming up with too many storytelling stakes. Whereas the 1960 version is constantly looking for ways to up upend your expectations, to throw little obstacles in the gang's way, so that when they finally do overcome these obstacles and pull off this incredible heist, it feels like a mission well and truly earned. So yeah, with that being said, the 1960 version pales in comparison to the 2001 remake, which is vastly superior in my opinion. So yeah, who did it better? It is, in my opinion, the 2001 Steven Soderbergh version. But keep an eye out on the channel for more great content coming your way shortly. Thanks so much for watching, everyone.